Good morning. We're going to go ahead. You've already finished chapter 4, so we're going to go ahead and just do a slight preview of what chapter 5 is going to be about, okay? So let's look in our book on page 109 and 108. It's actually the very beginning of chapter 5. And chapter 5 is called All That Glitters. So I'm going to read the introduction as you're getting to the page. Remember, it's page 108, 109. So as I read this introduction, I want you to listen as to what we're moving into now, what part of American history. The late 1800s in America is often called the Gilded Age. Millions of people immigrated to America between 1870 and 1900, hoping to find a better life. The immigrant station on Ellis Island was opened to help meet their needs. Several important inventions were developed during the Gilded Age, and music, art, and writing flourished. Some Americans had more wealth than ever before, and their rags to riches stories became popular. Americans had more leisure time to spend on entertainment such as shows, amusement parks, sporting events, and bicycling. Many Americans were very poor and lived in tenement housing. Settlement houses were established to help fight poverty. People began to see the need for national laws to manage child labor, to campaign for women's rights, to find cures for disease, and to encourage better nutrition. Since true faith in God and the Bible was questioned in the Gilded Age, men like D.L. Moody gave their lives to preaching the truth and winning people to Christ. So the focus of this chapter is the Gilded Age was a time of growth and necessary reform in many areas of American culture. So look at the very top of page 109 where it has that timeline. So we're studying 1880 to 1900. So in 1882, you have something called the Chinese Exclusion Act. 1889, the Hull House opens. In 1892, this is a very important year, Ellis Island opens. All right, now see where it says glitter and gold? That's the name of the chapter. Now I'm going to read this little section to you, and then I'm going to show you why I have this on the screen and show you a few more pictures and give you some details about it. All that glitters is not gold is a saying that comes from a line in a play by William Shakespeare. People used to describe the difference between the way something looks and its true value. A rock might glitter like gold does, but if it really isn't gold, it has no great value. We could use this saying to describe American culture in the late 1800s. In many ways, life in America at that time appeared to glitter. Large cities bustled with activity. New inventions had brought big changes to business. Work was being done much faster. Factories could produce more goods than ever before. Success in business had made some Americans very wealthy. But as you read this chapter, you will notice that not everything about America's glitter was good. The late 1800s in America are often called the Gilded Age. Something that is gilded has a thin covering that looks like gold, but it's not real gold. Not everything about the American way of life was pleasing to God, and not all that glittered was gold. So those are some things we'll talk about. We're not going to talk about those types of things today. What I do want to show you today is I want to tell you about a place called Coney Island. Coney Island, in your work textbook on page 47, you'll see a picture, and it tells a little bit about Coney Island. If you'll look there, Coney Island. It says that Coney Island was America's first amusement park. I wonder, have you ever gone to Six Flags? I've been. It's been a long time ago. Have you ever ridden what am I trying to say? A roller coaster. A roller coaster. I've ridden some. When I was a kid, I loved them, but now they scare me to death. I have a sneaking suspicion that if you've ever ridden one, that you really like them. Or if you haven't ever ridden one, maybe you want to. I bet. So Coney Island was the very first amusement park in America. Because remember, during this time, people didn't have to spend all their time working on the farm. they had time to go play, and they also had extra money that they could spend. So that's why they're making these places of entertainment, these fun places. Now, over time, Coney Island became a large park with rides, slide shows, games. It had the first roller coaster in America. The first hot dogs in America were sold at Coney Island. Have you ever gone to Sonic and got a coney? A foot-long coney? Well, it's called a coney because that's where they came from. This amusement park is still in use today. So let's look at some of these pictures. Now, this is Coney Island at about the year 1900. Let's look at the Coney Island 1800 pictures. Yeah, looky there. This would have been, I don't know what year this would have been, sometime in the late 1800s, I would assume. Look at all that they had there going on. This is really new for Americans, isn't it? Now, this picture actually shows it's about 1912. So, yeah, looky there. So, I don't know when they came out. Look at all that. Wow. That's an early picture. It says July 8th, but I don't know what year that would have been. Coney Island. That's pretty neat, huh? Luna. I don't know what that means. Look at those ladies wearing those hats. You don't see that anymore, do you? I'm glad, because I don't like to wear hats. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if this is Coney Island. Yeah, it says it is right there. Coney Island, New York. They're on a camel. There's two ladies on a camel, and there's a camel there. Look at the way they're dressed. There's a Ferris wheel. I guess that's what that's called. That's pretty neat, isn't it? All right. So let's look back at our work text page. The only thing that I want you to do today is I want you to design and name a ride for an amusement park. You don't have to make a new one. You can just draw kind of a picture of one or something and give it a new name. You know, it can be one, you know, just one that like maybe you've ridden before. And just give it a new name and just show a little ride on there, okay? And then I would like for you to also work on your diorama today, okay? All right, that'll be all for today.